Let's see. Kurt, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hanging in there. My new saying is I'm hanging in there like a loose tooth. Kind of sums me up.
I kind of feel like a big cavity that needs a drill and all that. So you're better than
You're
me.
ready to be pulled.
Yes.
Oh, Lordy, Lordy. Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are y'all doing today?
Doing good. Olivia, are y'all still working at home or are y'all kind of hybrid?
Hybrid, but in the middle of the move. So we just got our furniture in Kennard. So we're between offices too.
That's fun.
But once we're all settled, probably 2 or so days a week in the office.
Awesome. Well, I want to be respectful of your time. I'll keep a watch to see if people come in, and so we can let those folks in. I'm going to go ahead and share my agenda just in case you did not get that, if I can get it to work. There we go. So just wanted to give you some updates. We were supposed to meet in July, but it got a little bit crazy. Trying to help get the schools up and going, still in the mode of trying to help the schools up and going. So we moved it to August. So I was laughing with Zachary earlier that our PR out about this meeting, we put the fall coalition meeting. Well, it's really the summer coalition meeting. So just call it COVID 2020 brain. So we'll make it though. But just wanted to give you some quick updates. I did hear from Stephanie that she could not join us today. I haven't heard from Eddie, but just want to give you some updates in the area of early childhood and school readiness. So the collaborative, we have had some changes with the collaborative. So I just wanted to update you so you all would know about it. We went from, we had about 300 to 301 students last year in the collaborative. So far, right now, we have 351. So, woohoo! Gaining in more access to pre-K for those kids. So we have a total of 12 classrooms at Bramlett, 5 classrooms at Lafayette, 4 at Mary Cathy, and 2 at Willie Price. And Kara and I, our lives have been consumed by helping them in whatever areas we might can help them out with. And because right now there's about 50 students in Oxford at Bramlett Elementary that will be virtual because they got to choose. And then Mary Cathy is all virtual. It's about almost 60 kids. So we're having fun with that and figuring that out. We met with all the teachers except for one site yesterday. We had a marathon day of meetings that we're building the plane while we fly it kind of deal. So trying to do our best on that. And we're setting them up with technology and resources. We've gotten all the tablets for Lafayette and just in case because they're kind of doing a weird schedule right now in that, well, it's not weird, it's just different. And that two days a week, a group might be virtual and then 3 days the next week they're virtual. So it kind of flips back and forth. So they need those devices for virtual days. Mary Cathy, they're getting started next week with like getting their parents informed and all that, and then virtual by the 31st. And our tablets are coming in for them hopefully tomorrow or Monday, so we can get those set up. So we're meeting a lot with all our teachers. Let me turn off my notifications so that won't ding in our ear this whole time. Sorry about that. And Parent Academy. So this is another building the plane while we're flying it idea there. In that we had a meeting. Olivia, was that with you? I think with Greer last week, Minded Making. And so I talked with her after that meeting, and she's with Barksdale, and we're working to try to make Barksdale Reading Institute Parent Academy virtual. Even pulling in Mississippi Public Broadcasting for those folks that may not have internet access, or that internet access, even if they can have access to it, it won't work where they are because of coverage. So that's really exciting. It's still in the works. In the past, we've started Parent Academy in August. In September. Last year, we started it in October. So I'm looking like it's probably going to be that October date before we can get all that together. So we're just kind of figuring that out. Right now, it's looking like we'll have videos we can share through social media and the website that we'll talk about that is looking amazing in just a little bit. And also that Mississippi Public Broadcasting, she was on the call with us during our meeting last week, trying to get that, because they've been having some really good programming during the summer, during all the shutdowns. And our thoughts is that we can send home materials with students that are in our ELC classrooms, those 351 students, as well as go and contact the private schools, the daycares, and then just out in general. That's Allie. I was asking Allie before we got started kind of where the library was, because we were trying to think of another place that we could put those materials for people to come by and pick up, that have maybe 3-year-olds that are ready to attack some of these skills, or that 4-year-olds that may just be at home. They're not in any kind of program. So we want to make sure we reach as many as we can, because right now we're averaging about 500 to 550 kindergartners. So that's how many families we have out there that are coming into kindergarten that we want to reach. So that is a work in progress. And I'm just going to table the fall professional development day, because Eddie and Stephanie and I have been talking about that. Of course, we'll be virtual. It's usually in October, and just look out for information on that one. Yesterday, since we were in our marathon of meetings, Zachary represented us in the out of school time coffee hour, which is now virtual. Did y'all clink coffee cups? I'd have to clink my Dr. Pepper cup. And would you kind of tell us a little bit, give us a synopsis of what y'all talked about?
Yeah, so they've had to push back Dolly Parton's visitation a few times. They're still hopeful that's going to happen, the Imagination Library. However, they do not have a set date yet. We talked about how National Summer Learning Week went last month. We handed out materials to over 120 families throughout the community. I think we have pretty good reach. We were able to go north and south and hit the perimeter of the county. And we talked a little about Oxford Arts Council, which is putting on their own videos. I know they've recorded a few theater performances and whatever arts education they can kind of get posted online. But we're just trying to keep in touch with all our programmers locally. Haven't heard from the Park Commission, but I also know that they're starting now to get more after-school programming going.
Good deal. And what about Little Free Libraries? I know you've been working a lot on that one so far.
Yeah. So Little Free Libraries, we started assessing where our current locations, where they're at, what physical condition they're in. So I went through to all 8 locations spread throughout the county, got a good assessment of what repairs are needed. I'm collaborating with separate woodworkers and painters and artists in the city, and we're hopefully going to restore these, add a little bit of life to them. We're going to build out a new one on Molly Bar, which is right there at the CB Webb Housing Authority. Our hope is that these things will pop, they'll drive foot traffic. This will be a great source to get books out. We want to build them out so that we could also include some more learning resources for families. So we want it to be a hub for families, not just to get reading materials, but also to have a touch point with L.O.U. Reads and possibly the ELC. So we're doing pretty good right now. We have a lot of people who are interested. I put a feeler out there, and everybody wants to work with Little Free Libraries. So hopefully we can get the ball rolling and start doing physical repairs on these things. But yeah, hopefully we get that some more foot traffic. They're a lot of fun.
Good. And we've been working this summer, Kroger donated us some bags, and we bundled them up by pre-KK, first, second, third, fourth, all the way up to fifth, sixth, because we had that age level in our supply of books. And so we just did them like a grab bag so that you could just get it and go on. So we've been working on these and then going out and looking at them. Some of them look kind of rough. And to the point that the front little plexiglass has come off, so we don't want to have the books ruined on the inside. So if you'll just keep an ear out for that. If you have somebody, we have some funds we can use to get supplies and all that. But if you have some good woodworking carpenter type friends that would help us out, it's not a whole lot of construction to it. And Zachary and his wife is amazing. Melanie's coming up with some designs, like you said, to make them pop, so they don't just blend in with the scenery that's around, but that they catch their eye and they were like, I got to go see what that is. And like you said, let it be a hub, not just where we have books and reading material, but anything. I don't want it to be a junk pile, of just stuff in there, but any kind of materials of all of our partners and folks that work together that we can get information out, since folks are not getting together so much. So but just be on the lookout for that. And if you know of anybody, please contact me or Zachary. I would greatly appreciate it.
Tamara,
Yeah.
you might want to reach out to the engineering school and the Center for Manufacturing Excellence as well. I know they're oftentimes have students or groups that are looking to do projects like that.
Awesome. I hadn't even thought about them. We used Mayon this summer. We were so excited. Last summer, it got started a little late, and so we didn't get a reach as much as we wanted. So we were so excited about this year. And then I just say 2020 happened. And so we registered about 3,000 students to use Mayon. And if you don't remember, Mayon's that digital library. It's through Renaissance that does Accelerated Reader. It's that same company. And we registered over 3,000. We had about 30 that really participated. We had more than that participated, but those 30, were hitting it. They were reading over 100 books, 50 books throughout the summer. But we have some good stats on it. We had 1,200 books that were read throughout the summer. It comes out to about 165 hours that they spent online on their books. And then so far, out of pre-K through third, for that 165 hours, the first graders read 88 hours of that time. So that made me excited, because first grade is one of those tough grades that a lot happens in that grade level. So I'll be getting with you, Olivia, just kind of see, because I have had teachers ask me, hey, can we still have that throughout the school year? So I'm going to be talking with Renaissance for Mayon to see just what options we have because of the situation that we're in. So
Well, Dr. Rutherford and I actually just talked about maybe extending that and what that would look like today. And especially if things end up going all virtual, it would be, and teachers could assign through Mayon, it would be really helpful.
yes, very much so. So that one's got a ... beside it, because we're still going to see what we can do with it. And then Mississippi Reads One Book. We are doing that for some of our out of school time. We have Fenway and Hattie this year is our book by Victoria Cole. We already have, I don't know how many books that are taking up most of the conference room in there. We've already bought them. We didn't last year. We had to start a little late because there was a back order. And so going off of last year's numbers, we had way more Spanish speaking copies that were needed. So we got more of those. And Zachary and I just talked earlier this week. The company, Read to Them, is who this is through, and they give us a packet of some ideas that we might could do, and then we built a packet on top of that for the teachers. So we'll be working on that soon. So Allie and Meredith, I may be coming and knocking at your door if y'all have some ideas. And that's a good segue into you guys. If one or both of you want to share kind of where the library is with everyone and what's being offered or what's on the table being planned.
Sure. So the library is doing curbside services, which have been very popular. And we're also doing in-building services by appointment. So you have to call the library and get an appointment to use the computer. We've had several parents come by and register their kids that way. We're cleaning between appointments, just making sure that we can keep everything as safe as possible. We did do a virtual summer reading program, including virtual story times, and those were pretty popular. And our new programming committee is working on what virtual programming is going to look like in the fall. And we're really excited for some of the possibilities for what that can look like. So we're excited to get started on the fall. And we're going to be working with, like Meredith said, we're going to be working with deposit collections with the child care centers. We're trying to stay safe, but we want to do whatever we can to help our teachers and educators.
That's before everybody got on. I was telling Allie and Meredith, I missed the bus. Like, I haven't taken the bus out in so long. And like Meredith said, she got on her bus not long ago and it's like, whoa, where's the controls? Where's this? You know, I'm like, I'm going to have a lesson when we get out back in it. But just trying to think of how to be safe in it and all. I understand. And even doing small crowds, you know, just making sure everybody's safe and clean and sanitized. But Fenway and Hattie will be coming about in October. So Allie and Meredith, I may be getting with you guys pretty soon and just kind of think through some things that we might do. We used the videos last year of, what was her name? Costume Teacher on YouTube, where she did some crazy videos of her reading the book. So we've even thought of maybe doing something along that line, but with people around here, especially since so many people are cooped up in their houses. And even at school, they're just with their classroom. That's it. They don't get that full, you know, school experience of seeing everyone. So just having some ideas. If you have something, let some wheels turn. This will be about, I forget how many chapters we have. It's more than the last one. It's like 20 maybe. So we could do it instead of 3 weeks over the month or so, because we did a chapter a night for weeknights and stuff. So just be looking on the lookout for that. We'll be putting some marketing out about it to let everybody know. And Allison, that brings us to school attendance, which is so fun nowadays.
It is. It's very different. So good to see you all. Yes, we are still tracking attendance. As some of you may know, State Board of Education gave districts guidelines how to count attendance for those kids that are attending school virtually. So school districts have the authority to determine, you know, what that looks like for them. A lot of school districts in our area have gone just to strictly virtual the first 9 weeks. So attendance is still being taken. Right now we are, our offices are trying to help parents determine, should they homeschool, should their child, you know, choose virtual school through their district. So we've had lots of questions surrounding that, and also explaining the difference. You know, homeschool is very new to a lot of families. And anyway, so we have been very busy with that. So unfortunately, our events that we typically do in the fall, our breakfast at the bus stop and meetings at CB Web, are face-to-face. And so I just did not see a substitute for that. And so we're just going to suspend those for this semester with hopes that maybe we can start those back up in the spring. But I just did not see any way for those to happen. I mean, you cannot serve breakfast virtually. And
especially when food's involved.
Right. Well, and then you get into, you know, the school district is distributing meals to families, and so the confusion, and so we just decided just to hold off this semester. And you know, we have reached out to Tisha. She's not on here today at the Housing Authority. I've let her know that I'm here. Parents have questions. You know, I'll be happy to answer. And so if y'all have any ideas to encourage attendance, we're going to have to do it virtually or you know, however you think, please send those to me. So I would be open to any ideas that you may have, because it definitely looks very different. We are usually in the thick of it right now, doing our, you know, attendance campaigns across the county. And attendance awareness month will still be September.
I was about to ask that.
Yeah, so we will still be promoting you know, positive engagement and things like that. So that hasn't changed, but just the way that we're going to go about promoting it is going to change. So if you have any ideas, please shoot me an email. I'll entertain anything that comes my way.
I figured we'll probably end up with some videos or some kind of challenges that we could do. We just got to get creative, and it would be, you know, working with the schools here. I just don't know. We just got to think outside of the box and then figure that one out. So if you have any brainchild ideas, as one of a teacher earlier on a training, she's like, I thought of this laying in bed last night. So some of those thoughts before you go to sleep, you might have an epiphany. Just let us know, because we're brainstorming, trying to think of those things.
Sure.
Thank you. On the financial side, thank you to United Way. We were awarded our grant for 2021. So woo, woo, woo. We will put it to use, because you see that we had fun spending school readiness funds last year with our total of almost $68,000 there. So we have been focusing tons on that school readiness, on that early start part. Out of school time, followed it right back up. We had lots of activities with our Mississippi Reads One Book and different events of that nature. And then our school attendance kind of went down with the whole COVID in the spring and then not being able to do it now. So those were kind of low. But it looks like right now between our new grant award and what we had left over, so we're about like, what is that, 14,000, something like that?
Yeah, 14,000.
So Kurt, anything else about that or?
No, the grant amount was the full amount of the request. So Tamara did a great job putting the application together. It was one of the highest rated by the education committee, but of course, because of the great work that's involved. So we appreciate getting to partner.
Good. I appreciate it so much. And I foresee that out of school time and school readiness, because Parent Academy falls in school readiness. And if we're doing it all virtual, I foresee us spending up quite a bit of that 14,000 this year, especially if we're trying to provide resources at home for students. I wanted to share some things with you, and I toot Zachary's horn all the time because he won't toot it himself. So toot toot, Zachary. He's got some mad skills, and I just want to show you, he has been working on our website diligently to make it look amazing. So I want to show you what he is working on. Can y'all see my screen, the little purple banner? So you could go to loureads.org right now, and it's still the old one, correct, Zachary? Okay. So he has been working, and his wife, we're going to have to put her on payroll too, going around and making videos of our schools and such. And I foresee us in the future, if we're able to get out into some of our childcare centers and things like that, just to let people know about us instead of using stock photos and things of that nature. I think that's pretty awesome. It tells our story of our community, of the videos and the pictures. So this will be our landing page, what it looks like when we get it up and going. It's still through our same website address and everything through Wix that is used. But isn't that cool? I mean, just it's nice and sleek and professional looking in there. We were talking about this little box, subscribe to receive updates on upcoming events and programming. So we were just talking before the meeting about taking that and where they put their email in, but also kind of include something that they put, maybe are they just a community member, a parent, come up with some different categories, childcare worker, early child educator, so we can kind of know where to put them, to connect them with certain groups and what area they would like to take part in. So that one is pretty cool. And then our events page is getting a facelift. Our calendar will have it'll have like a little short tag of what's going on. And when you click on it, you'll get information like this. So if you clicked on where Parent Academy is, when we get those dates going, there's our fall summer meeting and that we're having right now. So we'll have links and things like that in there for you to go to. We've really been trying, Zachary has been trying when he posts things on social media and we send them out to direct them to the website instead of just giving them that information right there, to kind of get them drawn in to see what's going on. So I think that's pretty smart on his part there. And then we have our issues page. This is usually under our About tab, where they can see what we're all about in for L.O.U. Reads. We have our CSAP there. And then he's made us a contact page because, right now we're kind of word of mouth, getting out and talking to each other. So if we pull people in through our website, I like this feature where they can send us an email or a message without having to look up an email, find somebody. If we're pulling them into the website, there it is. What was it? Oh, and we were talking about right before, and this is on down the agenda a little bit, but it's called the CLIP. It's the Community Learning for Impact and Improvement platform. It's through the National Campaign for Grade Level Reading. we've been trying to build this up and beef it up. Allison was with me. Where were we? Philadelphia, I think. And since then, we've been trying. That's been like a year and a half, I think, maybe 2 years, that we've been trying to get this built up across the nation through the national campaign, and get information about our community on our page, get people connected on that page. So we're talking about maybe incorporating some of that into that as well, because it's not a platform you can just Google and join yourself. It's like I have to enter you in, and you have an invite to get within that, so you can get connected to a group. And then it's awesome, because then you get access to the 400 communities across the nation, and you'll get little reminders and such, as much as you want set of, if you want to look up what another place is doing about attendance, if you want to look up different initiatives that people have across the nation, that's a place that you can do that. So we're excited about getting that going. Any thoughts, comments, questions on website, how it's going to be? Other than Zachary, you're amazing. I love it. It makes me happy.
Oh, real quick, we are building our resource page, and we want it to be a comprehensive collection of resources. So literally anything you have that you think the community might benefit from, if you email it to either Tamara or myself, I'm sure we can find a way to get it to people on the website.
Yes, and his email is on the agenda there, and you can find us, social media, all that fun stuff. But there's it's the Campaign for Grade Level Reading Dashboard, Community Learning for Impact and Improvement Platform. So really it's CLIP, but we call it the CLIP. So, but just be on the lookout, because our homegrown folks here that are here with us all the time, I'll be sending that out to you. I've sent it out before a time or two, and I think people maybe thought it was some kind of spam stuff. But if you see something about the Community Learning for Impact and Improvement Platform, just click on in it, and like most of you, I kind of know what group you fall into and that you work with, or it may just be in general, and I can kind of get you assigned where you can start seeing other places. Olivia, statewide, do you want to make any comments for statewide?
I don't think so. I think you got everything with Mississippi Reads One Book, and that's about all that's going on.
I know we've been meeting a couple of times with the coalitions across the state with Olivia, and with, my brain just went totally dead, Steve Greeley.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the name. My brain.
Steve Greeley.
Yes. What's his?
Shared Cause.
Shared Cause. I was like, it's 2 words. I can't get it out. Shared Cause. They're working with us through all the communities within Mississippi. And we're working on some training with Mind in the Making. We're pulling in Mississippi Thrive with the school readiness, early childhood, and pediatricians and the resources. They just sent out a wonderful newsletter. I sent it to Zachary yesterday. I was like, pull out some of this stuff and let's post some of these things out through social media and through our website. And like Zachary said, L.O.U. Reads is not me and Kara, Zachary, and these folks on the screen. It's our community. And so getting everybody involved and plugged in, as little or as much as they would like to be, is our goal. And so we can make an impact within our community, just like the CLIP, Community Learning for Impact and Improvement. We just don't want to be doing things to say, hey, L.O.U. Reads did this. We want to have an impact. And right now, that's like some uncharted territory, some that we're not used to. We were used to our normal things that we did, and they were great and wonderful, but now we've got to rethink all that again and see how we can make the biggest impact. And there's my timer to sign out. So, but any other things to share that you have going on within your organizations that you want to share with us and that we can help promote out? Jennifer, everything going good in your world?
FRL is just trying to keep trudging on and coming up with new ways to deliver resources to patrons. In addition to our virtual library program this summer, we had book giveaways that all happened outdoors. So you might have driven by the library and saw books set out all over the grass and
Yep.
lanes of traffic in the grass for kids and parents picking up books. But we had that going on at all of our branches. So that was a really neat but very different way of getting books to kids this summer. So we got, I forget how many thousands of books we gave away.
More than 20,000. More than 20,000.
My goodness.
Yeah. I was about to say around 20,000, but yes, it was a lot between the 14 branches that we had, 20,000 books that we gave away and put in hands of our patrons in the 5 counties we serve.
That is awesome. I failed to mention this at the beginning. I got probably on a little rabbit trail on something else, but our pre-K tax credit, I wanted to give y'all a little update on that. We are at about, since March of 2019, we've taken in $744,000 plus dollars. I mean, amazing. We received $683,700 from the state for our pre-K program. And then we have to match those funds. Well, our pre-K tax credit can match those funds. That money goes directly back to support the L.O.U. ELC. And we've had folks donate $100. We've had folks donate $100,000. So it is amazing. If you'll keep telling your friends, your pals, anybody that pays state income tax to Mississippi, once they know what that amount will be, by December 31st, before the clock strikes midnight, to call me and get us a check, and we will get all the documentation they need. One more exciting bit of news that we have is they had the Raise the Rate campaign that was going on before COVID and kind of happened during COVID, but they approved our Raise the Rate to raise the amount to $2,500 is what we would receive per child in the collaborative. So that makes our total go from $683,000 to $795,000. And let me tell you, we could use every penny because we have added in, what did I say? We're up from 300 to 351 students from last year to this year. Our proposal, our award amount is based on 318 students that we'll serve. And now we're serving 351. So we could use every penny we could get because Kara and I are spending it like crazy. Every day we have multiple emails from the schools and from the centers. They're saying, we really need this. We really need this. And one big thing is just what it's happened as a result of COVID is one of those things will be a fence around the front side of Bramlett because they are going to need to use that outdoor space that's on the front side of Bramlett, and we need to have it safe for our kids to be out there. To either have outside class or outdoor playtime in a socially distanced manner as much as possible. So we have some different costs and expenses that are coming out of COVID. So that's nice to have that there. And that's all because we live in an awesome community that supports education, supports early childhood. But I appreciate you all. Y'all get off early, man. Our little small group. I am welcome to. I'll stay here as long as anybody wants to chat. But if y'all are all ready to be like Fred Flintstone and slide down the dinosaur and go home, that's all good. Some of you are already there, so you can take off the work hat and put on the home hat. So I appreciate all you do. Please get a hold of us if you need anything. As of right now, we are hoping to meet November 19th for our true fall coalition meeting. And so just be on the lookout for fall professional development day information, Mississippi Reads One Book information, and that clip email. Those are things you'll be seeing soon. So I appreciate all y'all. Have a great Thursday.
Thanks, Ms. Hillmer.
Bye-bye.